Hi, everybody. I'm here working on my real job, and I figured if anybody wanted to kind of see behind the curtain a little bit, look at some cool stuff with embryonic development with me. What I'm doing is modifying figures for an upcoming lecture because the textbook figures, I think, are overly complicated, and I want to make sure that basically I make my own figures so that I get across what I want to get across. So I'm just going to sit here and do this, and if anybody wants to say hi, hi. Thanks for coming. So I don't even need these anymore. I can see that I'm online. You can hear me. So let's see what we're going to do here. We got to do gastrulation in sea urchins, in birds, and then in humans. So it's going to take a little bit of time to go through all this. So this is a micrograph, and I want to draw a real one because I want to have a bunch of figures that are the same. Hi, everybody. Amazing. I see people here. And then once I have the figures that are kind of standardized, I can have a nice summary slide, and you can see kind of how everything goes. So what we want to do here is we want to take this figure first, and we're going to go up a slide. We're going to steal this guy right here. We're going to put it down here. Not the arrow, though. We just need, well, actually, you know what? We'll leave the arrow for now, because what I think I want to do is, yeah, let's see, because we're going to do, what's my color scheme here? So we're going to use blue, red, and orange for the 3 germ layers. So we've got ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, and so I want to keep that consistent. So what we're going to do here is this is just going to be black at first because it's none of those layers. So we want to make sure make this black. Here's what I like to do. We're going to take this slide and we're going to duplicate it so I don't mess anything up. And now I can delete things and change things and I won't lose anything. So what I got to do is send the text to the back. We want to send to back, so it's not in the way. Now we can get rid of this. Okay, now I can take my thing here. We're going to ungroup these because I want to edit them one at a time. Let me get this out of the way. And we'll bring this down here. This is going to be the blastula stage. I'm not going to go through like all the bio while we're sitting here. So sorry if I say words that people don't know what they mean. I'm not going to kind of narrate everything. This is more just me thinking out loud while I do it. So I've got our blastula here. And then what I'm going to do is combine these lines because we've talked about this stuff already in class. So I can kind of make that a little bit easier right there. And now that gives me more room. And what we're going to do is have, I need some arrows. I need some arrows right here. We're just going to draw my own. We're going to have it go like this, and that. And we're going to do another one, same thing. I'm going to take approximately the same spot, but I'm not going to get bent out of shape if it's not perfectly symmetrical. That's okay. But we'll be approximately symmetrical here. And those cells are going to move inwards, and I'm going to have to make those a different color just to put them on top. So we're going to make those orange because orange is my color for endoderm. So we're going to do this, and we're going to make those a little bit thicker. Let's get them up to 4. It'll be good. Okay, so that indicates the cell migration to the inside. Now those are going to become the archenteron, and again, I want to make sure, so that's going to be endoderm, so it's going to be orange. Good. Okay. So we come back up here, and now this arrow comes back into play right there. And now we need a shape, but we need a curve. And we're going to do it like this. We're going to put this one up here. Trust me, what I'm doing is going to make sense in a minute, even though right now it makes no sense. But we need to make a curve instead of a circle. So we want to make it the same size as, there we go. I'll make it that size, and then make it there. And then we want to overlay it with this thing on one edge, and then we want to drag the other edge out to there. Good. And now we want to line it up with that, just like that. And now we're going to put this like this like that, We'll put it down a little lower. Yeah, that'll be good. And now we want to get rid of that arrow because this is going to be the outside part of the embryo here. That's going to be good. And we'll make it blue because blue is the ectoderm color. And what thickness is this? That's 12. We're going to make that 8. That's too thick. We're going to make that 8. And then this is also going to be 8. And it's going to be nice and pretty. Okay. How are we all doing? Grading middle school students' water property labs. Nice. Excellent. Enjoy grading. Good luck. Grading, when I would do grading of written assignments, which I mercifully don't do anymore, that was the bane of my existence. So good luck. All right, we're going to bring this down a little bit more because we want to close that up right up until that opening. And now we want to draw a nice curve in there. So this is going to get a little squirrely, but we're going to start it here. We're going to go like this and up like this, and then make a nice circle. Go. Never good with these waypoints on this kind of thing. That worked out okay. That's fine. Oop, make that a little bit low. No, I'm going to go back to about here, I think. Yeah. And then to there. That's good enough. We get rid of the arrow, and we make this 4, and we make it orange. That should be 8 rather, not 4. There we go. Okay, good. So there's our sea urchin gastrula, at least. And then eventually it's going to have 3 layers, but we don't have to worry about that right now. So that's pretty good. I think this guy might need to tweak these arrows, though. Ugh. Chat, what do you think? Should I make these arrows curved more? Or is it okay with the straight-ish line coming down each side like that? Do I need to curve it more along the edge there? I'm going to leave it as it is for now, but if you tell me I need to curve it, I'll curve it. Okay, so what I can do now is a little while ago I deleted a micrograph of this structure, so it looks good. All right, if anyone disagrees, let me know. We're going to do this. I'm going to move this over here because what I can do is now we have this right there. And then what I can do is I can bring the micrograph in right here. This slide is going bye-bye, so I don't really care what I do with the text there. Here we go. We bring the micrograph in and put it next to the sketch. There we go. Why ask you? Because you're here. That's why. Okay, this text has to move a little bit. That's better. Just give me places to click without clicking on the text. All right, and we can move that over. And now this can be a little bit bigger. It's not going to be exactly the same size, but you get the idea. So there we go. And now we go to the animations. And we see what we've got here. Okay, we got nothing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we got to group some stuff. So it's going to be this first. We're going to group all these. And then we're going to group this and this and this. And finally, that's on its own. So now we have this is just going to sit. So we don't have to worry about that. And now we have this come in like that. We could have the picture right here. And then that'll be last. Okay, cool. So now we're good. Thought this was an update on your YouTube content, and I jumped to the conclusion you were, nope, I am not scaling back content. We're keeping the weekly schedule going and trying my best to, not every week, but many weeks have, outside of Wednesday night stuff. Don't worry, this is course content. This is my real job. So I'm doing this lecture in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So trying to get ahead of the game here. Okay. So now that's the sea urchin one, and that's looking good. So now I got to get down here to the bird. Because the bird one, and I started working on this before I started the stream. So what we're doing here is you're flattening the structure, and it's all happening on top. So what we're going to do here is we have to include the epiblast and the hypoblast, and then they're going to migrate inwards and downwards. So my color scheme is going to be a little different. So the epiblast is going to start off a light blue, and then the hypoblast will be a lighter orange. So we're going to make this and this. We're going to have to here. They should be 8. Make them thicker. Not to scale. Want to emphasize, and I will emphasize during class, not to scale. But they're going to sit right on top like that and like that. And yeah, I'm going to have to zoom in more to make sure that works. So we're going to do, no text. We don't need the text. We're going to do here, and yeah, whoever just said it, I obsess over how the slides look. The figures must be a very specific way. The amount of time I've spent making sure certain things are lined up and symmetrical on various slideshows that I have is excessive, but it's how I feel like I have to do it. Okay, so what can I do in that middle zone in there? All right, well, in any event, this is going to be light blue, and then this is going to be that lighter orange. The yellow might mess this up. Let's see. It's going to be that lighter orange. Yeah, the yellow messes that up, so we're going to have to maybe gray that out. It's yolk, so you want it to be yellow intuitively, but if I can't see anything, then we'll make it gray, and that'll work better. And the line can just be black then. Yeah, that's going to have to be better. Let's get back to here. Okay, let's see. Is that the right color? I don't know if those are the right colors. Oh well. So, ever try using BioRender? So I don't use anything sophisticated to do this. I could use, Adobe Illustrator or something like that, but I do everything natively in PowerPoint so I can edit it on the fly whenever I need to. So that I don't need to do something else to like update graphics in the slides. I can just do it directly in PowerPoint, and that makes everything a lot simpler. Actually, speaking of a simple solution, if I make these thicker, they should just, yep, there we go, perfect. Okay, talk about a simple solution there. Good, now I can make this a little bit bigger. We'll keep it flat, and then these two can come up like this, but I can make them a little bit wider now. Go out like that. Whoa, don't do that. No, don't do that. Just go like that. Yeah, good. Okay, same thing. Nope, don't grab onto that. Just do that. The snaps sometimes get in your way. Okay, we'll just move them. That's good. Okay. Oh, I was editing secular. That's so funny. I was editing slides in class yesterday. During class, I realized I was like giving a list of 4 things, but then there was content in between each of the 4. So in the middle of class, I was like, hang on. And I went through and numbered them 1 through 4 while we were doing it to make it clear kind of what the delineations were. So editing in class, I'm all for it. Okay, so now we've got, I got to put this stuff in the back, obviously, because the arrows need to be on top. So we will move the arrow to the front. So this is going to be our hypoblast. This is our epiblast right there. I should move these. These are not well positioned here. We're going to put this stuff like up here, like that. Let's center it. Actually, hang on. Center just this one. There we go. And then I can center these guys on that. 1, 2. Center them. That looks good enough to me. And then we have our hypoblast right here. And we need to put this arrow on top. Just like that. It's going to be our epiblast in blue, hypoblast in orange. And then the yolk, we need another arrow. Use this. We'll put it, do it like this, like that. This. Yeah, I know. Moving around the curves is a pain in the butt. I should have just used a regular arrow, but what you're going to do. Here we go. That'll do fine. Now I just switch that direction of the arrow and we'll be in business. Now we do nothing and everything. Oh, what did I just do? Nothing. No, we want that one to have that, keep it consistent, and then we get rid of that. There we go. Okay, cool. That's good. Now we got epiblast, hypo, what is that? Oh, that's the arrow. Okay, that's fine. And then we need to go back to this and make sure that that is after And then here, we want to add that one in. No fancy animations with previous, and we don't need to say mass. We could just say yolk. Let's keep it simple. Let's extend that a little bit, and now we'll clean it up. Get it right to that bottom point. Now we can just bring it. I don't think we have a choice there. Let's see if I can make it a little nicer. I love how there's a handful of people sitting here watching me just edit PowerPoint slides. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, and we bring this down just a little bit. Keep it like there. Good. And we're looking good. Okay. So we've established that we have 2 layers. Now the fun part. Now, this slide is chaos. I got to fix this. James, I think you're referring to a comment thread that was on the irreducible complexity video, maybe. And if you are, I'm glad you caught that, because that is something that I'm going to be pointing out, more the kind of the actual tactics and things that people use there. And it was very deliberate the way I was like, and thank you, by the way, for changing the topic and admitting the thing, because people need to do that more. So I want to model that as much as possible. Okay, so what I got to do for this slide is I have to keep the content but fix the figure. So what we're going to do is make a copy of the slide, because that way I don't accidentally get rid of it. Now I have other copies of the PowerPoint from previous semesters, but now I can get rid of this, and now I have this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, but we're going to get rid of this figure, and we're going to use this figure as the basis for the new one. So we're going to take these pieces and bring them down here, and this is going to be a mess, and I'm going to have to figure it out. So let's see. What are we going to do here? Okay. I'm going to go like this. Move towards. Okay, so this is going to have to go up there. Just get out of the way. And then this we need to move down, because we need a third one of these. It's going to go right in the middle, and that's going to be my red, because red is mesoderm. So this is going to be red. This one on top becomes the standard blue for endoderm, and the one on the bottom now is going to be that deeper orange for endoderm. So what we need to show here is the migration pattern. So, oops. So now that I've got this, I need 1, 2, 3. We got to group these together so I don't keep losing them. 3, 4. Group, group. Okay, good. Now I need some arrows. And we're going to make this bigger so I can do it that way. How's everybody doing? Let's see. Well, no, we're going to do it this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this. Actually, hang on. Never duplicate work. So this is what you should do, folks. Some of you appreciate this. Reuse parts, common design. I already have the arrows I need right here. I'm just going to take them. And we're going to grab these, and we're going to bring them up here. We'll have to resize them and stuff, but I already have the pieces I need right here. Boop, just like that. Wasn't that easy? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and this, and this, and we're going to move that towards the middle. We'll do this, and this, and this. Move it towards the middle. That's much better. This one needs to come down. Hopefully this doesn't mess it up when I do this. Only a little bit. That wasn't too bad. That was fine, I think. And then this needs to go down. Oh, shoot. No, I messed that up. Okay, hang on. Ah! Okay, let's do one at a time. Oh, those are, I see, those are attached. Okay. There we go. What size are those? I might have to make those 4. If I don't want to go smaller than 4, so we'll make it work. We'll make it work with what we have. That is fine. And we're just going to bring this down to there. And that actually works. There we go. So now, repurposing that previous arrow, that all worked out a little bit. So now we're good. So now we see the process of cell migration moving from the outside to the inside. I need this one now. Bring it down to there. And then let's move that arrow a little bit so I have access to this. So I want to bring it up right into there. And that works. And then we'll just connect it right back up. And we're good. And then this one just needs to come down and we'll be in business. This one needs to come to there. Boom. Beautiful. It's a little bit off kilter. It's not exactly centered, but I don't care. That's fine. Okay. So Dr. Dan is live doing his actual job for the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Then I got to do other stuff. But I got to update these slides and figured, why not update the slides with people on the internet? Hi. Thanks for joining. So much. Control Z, Control C, Control V. Yeah, learn your keyboard shortcuts, folks. It's a lifesaver. All right, so let's zoom back out because this slide is chaos right now. But we'll make it not chaos. So what we're going to do here is, here we go. This arrow now we need to put on top. Actually, here's what we can do. All of this plus all of these I want to group to, yeah, that plus this. I want to group all of that together now because that's now done. So that's all one unit. Good, perfect. So now I need this and this and this and this. And we need to put all that stuff on top. There we go. Good. So now we can put this here. Now that's going to go point to there. This is going to point to, I'm going to need a different arrow for that one. That arrow is not going to work anymore. This is going to go here. Oh, and this arrow I think was supposed to go here. And that's going to be, here's what I can do. I got it. I have to make sure that there's enough of the blue left that's not migrating. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this inwards. So we're not indicating that the entire blue piece is migrating here. Also, I clicked the wrong thing, and that would have been chaos. So we take this, bring it in. I can make this one a little longer. That's fine. Let's line it up a little. Well, I think it's about as good as it's going to get. This is going to go right down here, like that. Good. Okay. Okay. I've never seen a bunch of arrows just spontaneously assemble. Look, I will say, one of the things that I pride myself on in my teaching is making very clear, simple figures that get the point across. And the textbook figures are great. So here's the figure I'm replacing, which is great. It shows more, stuff. It shows more detail, but there's more going on, and that can make it harder to understand. Whereas here, it flows from this, and it makes it easier to understand. So what I actually have to do, well, no, I think we're good there. I think I just leave it as is. I think that's good. Epiblast cells, I just have to get this indicated in the correct spot right here, which is going to be right there. I'll just indicate that little area. The problems, one of the limitations I have with PowerPoint is the grid where you can snap to is fairly limited, so I can't just point anywhere I want, which is a little bit annoying. It's not perfect. There we go. That'll do. Okay. So now I just have to make sure, so we're going to have the figure is going to be there. We're going to have this, then we'll have this, then that. Yeah, that's all going to... this should not be animated. So I need to fix that. Let's see. We go here. Yeah, that one's wrong. We don't want that. But then some move inward, and then move laterally. That makes your mesoderm. And then we've got endoderm. Good. Okay. Cool. Okay, class is starting at 5 minutes. These 8th graders want to teach some. Yep, have fun in class. Thanks for hanging out. All right, so now this is good, so I can get rid of this one as well. Boop, goodbye. Now I got my own figure right here. Oh, and I don't need the reference anymore. So we got this. Oh, don't need that either. Here we go. So we've got the 2 layers sitting on top of the yolk, and then they're going to migrate like that. And let's see, one thing I want to check out here. So that's a good one. So now we're going to iterate this a little bit. We're going to put this up here. So I want to have it, okay, make it a little lower. Bring it down here like this. Close. Is this one centered? I don't think that one's exactly centered, so that's part of the problem, but we'll just put it maybe like that. Yeah, I could go and like measure exactly. That's good enough. Okay. So how can I keep it the same? Because if I can keep it visually in the same place, then that makes it way easier to understand. So here's what we can do. Now we're going to take this, we're going to bring it down. Oh, let's close this gap right here. And then we're going to open up this. Oh, that's going to get messy. Huh. Top layer. Oh, here's what I can do. Here's what I can do. I can make this one line. And I can just say, then laterally. Here we go. Y'all are going to like this, I think. Here we go. Put that down here. Now, how do we get that around? Because we have the label for endoderm all the way at the bottom. Well, what we can do is we can just go like this. There we go. And now, what size are we at? Are we still 24? I got to keep the text size 24, otherwise it gets too small. But this is good. So, yeah, that's going to be better. Yep, good, good, good. Okay. Labeling the primitive streak is going to be tough. Okay. What I can do is I can get rid of this. I can take this and go like this. Like that. Now, do I have room to do this? Yes, I do. One more? No. Keep it like that. Okay. That makes the endoderm easy. So I take this arrow right here, and now it goes right there. By the way, the words, the color of the words that are not bold is matching the layer in the figure. The words that are bold in red are vocab words for the students, so they know that if it's bold in red, then you need to know that word, right? So we're color coding to match the figure here. So we have our ectoderm, and that blue is a little dark, but whatever. And then the mesoderm, what can I do about this? This one is going to go just like this, up to there. That's easy. And then that mesoderm arrow is kind of a mess. So what I can do is, well, I should just curve the arrow. Okay, we'll do that. Nice, nice, graceful curve on that arrow. We'll make it 4, and now we're good. And now I just have to make sure that animates where I need it to go. Yeah, that's better, and we have to add that. Let's click that in, and we need to put it here. And we'll make it with previous so it appears with the text, and now it all matches. And I just need to make sure it's actually pointing to the red, so we'll kick it up a little bit, and that'll be good. I could actually just do, that's a better move. Now we're good. Okay, and then this one is also going to have to get a new arrow, but I don't need to animate that arrow, which makes it easy. So let's see. Have I revisited a conversation with Behe? I haven't. Man, that was a blast from the past, right? I haven't thought about that in a long time. No, I haven't revisited it at all. I don't feel like there's anything really more to like say there. There we go, and we'll make that nice 4. And we don't need to animate that one in at all, so that's fine. And so I think we're good with that. That's now, yeah, so we have this. where you have the epiblast and the hypoblast. And then we have this, where now they're migrating, so you get the 3 layers. I did see the new paper on the self-replicating ribozyme. Y'all are going to find this funny. You know who brought that paper to my attention? Zach Hancock. Talk Pop Gen sent me that paper and said, hey, this is pretty cool, check this out. So I did see that. I dig it. 45 nucleotide self-replicating ribozyme. Very cool. So we can stick that in your pocket and use it as necessary. All right, so I think that is the bird part here. That's looking really good. Let's see here. Next I got to do the mammal part. Now the key thing with the mammal part is it is exactly the same as the bird part, except there's no yolk. But I have it right here. I have the endgame figure already made right here. So it's the same as the bird, it's just there's no yolk. The reason for that being that mammals' closest relatives, the sister group to mammals, are reptiles. So we do it the reptile way, except for the absence of the yolk. So the problem here is that when you get down into the mammal section, the figures from the old textbook are a mess. And like this figure I hate. So, you know, I might just, yeah, I guess I'll leave it there because I want to talk about the implantation stuff, trophoblast, intercell mass blast. I got to do all this stuff. I don't know that I have to edit that figure then. But then this is the part where it gets weird, right? So there's the human gastrula with the 3 layers, but what if I don't want to show that because that's confusing? And I could talk about the extra embryonic membranes, but then that's it. That's all I got to worry about. So for this part, I kind of already have it here. I have this. So I think this is a little too involved for right now, but what I want to do is before we get to the next section in the lecture, what I'm going to do is make a kind of summary evolution slide kind of thing going on here. By the way, when I'm looking over here, that's where YouTube is. So that's how I feel like I'm talking to all of you. And then here is PowerPoint right in front of me. So what I want to do is we'll get rid of the text. We don't need that right now. We're going to call this placeholder for myself because I don't know what I want to call it yet. Maybe evolution of development or something. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to take this and this. Oh, I can get rid of, yeah, I think I'll, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this at the end in case I change my mind, but for now we're going to put that down there at the end. Come back to it later if I need it, but we're going to go with this one for now. I like having the figure in the middle with all the labels around it rather than having it off to the side, plus keeping it consistent with the previous slide makes it nice. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to have a slide where I show all 3 of these things, and I think what I'm going to have to do is draw new ones, which is unfortunate, but I also want to draw a frog embryo doing this. So we're going to have 1, 2, and then we're going to need the bird one, where we're going to do it like this, but then I'll have a layer on top. And then for the human one, we don't need the layers. So I need now 2 lines to go like this. And I'll fix those, well, actually, easy peasy. We'll just get rid of the arrow, and then I can just copy it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for down here. Just gonna go down here, over here. Trust me, this is gonna make sense in a minute, I hope. And I really hope it makes sense when I do it with my students. But I think this is gonna work pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do here is show kind of the evolution of the gastrulation pattern as a product of the amount of yolk and the evolutionary constraints operating on each species. So first we have the echinoderm, which has very little yolk. So I'm just going to very, very simply illustrate this real fast here. We're going to go like this. We're going to go from the top. It's going to be upside down, and there's a reason for that. We're going to go from the top. We're going to go around and in. I don't like how I did that. Put about... That's... Here, put it like that. Yeah, that's better. We're going to go like that. And then we need another one. Same thing from the other side. We're going to go around and in. Like that. Okay. And then for the frog, which we're not going through in detail in class, but that's okay. That's not the point. We're going to go like this. We're going to go around and in, but it's going to be different because they have a lot more yolk, so they have to stick to the side, basically. So it's this weird thing like this. And then the other side is going to go like this. It's going to go like this, 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 and it's going to go in, and then it's going to stick to the side like that. It's going to go around the big massive yolk. And then for the bird, we have, well, you know what, we're going to do it with curves. We're going to do it with curves the whole time. Tetrapods makes evolution impossible. Yeah, good luck with that one, creationists. So the bird one is we're going to have one layer. I'm going to get rid of the arrowheads on these. Keep it closer. You'll do it like that, and then just need to get rid of the arrows right there. And then we need another one of those. I'm going to have to wrap this up in a few minutes, folks, because I have other stuff that I have to be doing this afternoon. But I'll at least get to kind of show you the structure of this summary slide. And again, we got to get rid of the arrowhead. This slide is not as well thought out as the other ones, but we'll get there. But I just want to show you kind of the idea that I have for this. So we're going to go like this, this, and then turn it in like that. And then I know these arrows are a mess right now. That is okay, because I'm going to fix them later. Too far. That's better. That'll do. Okay. I know that's a mess. I'm going to fix it later. Don't worry. And then for this one, we got to line these layers up and then have the same arrows across and then down and in. Oh, and there's my alarm to go do my other thing. So I'm going to very rapidly wrap this up for y'all, and then we'll call it here. Too low. Keep it higher. There we go. That's better. One. And we need the same thing on the other side. One. That'll do. Okay. And then what we have, so you have an increasing amount of yolk here where this whole thing is yolk and you can't divide it. So we're going to fill this with kind of a deep gray. Oh, no, that was the line. We want the fill. We're going to fill this with kind of a deep gray. It's like that. Now this one is going to have more yolk. It's going to be like this. And it's going to be, we're going to say no line, but we want a solid fill of a lighter gray. Yeah, we'll do it like that. So it gets in the way, but it doesn't entirely stop it. So that's the amphibian. So what you're going to get is the echinoderm archenteron, the early digestive tube from that fold inwards. I flipped it upside down, so it's this thing right here. This is called the archenteron right there. So I flipped it upside down so you can see the progression across all four. So here, I'll put another one down here, and it's going to be just straight down the middle because there's no yolk blocking it. For the amphibian, for the frog embryo, there's a bunch of yolk, so it's going to go to the side. And actually, this yolk, I have it in the wrong. It should be like that, kind of. It should really be like, kind of like that. Yeah, that's better. And then so it'll be what's called a crescent blastopore, goes around. And then for the bird, you have that giant, dense, massive yolk. Think about a chicken egg. So it all happens on top. And then for the human, right, our sister group is reptiles here, so we do the same thing, except we've lost the yolk because we do in utero development, but it's still a flat rather than spherical structure because of our evolutionary history. So really good progress on this today. Fixed a couple figures that I wanted to fix and replace here and there and there. And then I'll see what I end up doing about this one. But then this one, have a nice little summary progression I think is going to work really well. So that's where we're going to stop today, folks. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you whenever. I guess I can take this down. Stop sharing. All right. Thanks, folks. Have a good one. Appreciate you hanging out with me while I was futzing around on PowerPoint. Later.